was born into an ordinary family. To support my family, I worked as a waitress at a tea house for 6 years, leading a quiet life with my boyfriend, Patrick. When the tea house went out of business, I lost my job. So my mom helped me find a job as a caregiver for Will Trina of the Trina family. I had no experience, but to ease my family's financial struggles, I agreed to the interview. The Trina estate was vast but cold, and Will had been left paralyzed by a car accident, having lost both his mobility and his hope for the future. His mother hoped I could help him feel the warmth of life. After the interview, I felt both nervous and heartbroken, unsure if I could handle the job. We come from different worlds, but this encounter was meant to happen. Perhaps we'll become the light in each other's lives. A dead end isn't the end. A chance encounter holds the hope of redemption. On my first day at work, Will deliberately picked on me, mocking my clothes and my lack of sophistication. He even knocked over my water glass and refused to give me food, trying to force me to quit. I didn't back down. Every day, I wore bright clothes and greeted him with a sincere smile. I read the newspaper to him, told him funny stories, prepared his meals, and cracked corny jokes. On a snowy night, Will came down with a high fever, and I stayed by his bedside, cooling him down and singing to him. When he woke up, there was a change in his eyes. The ice in his heart began to melt. A few days later, Will's ex-girlfriend and a close friend told him they were getting married. His face turned pale instantly, and his eyes filled with despair. He forced himself to stay calm while dealing with the guests. But after they left, he broke down and smashed a picture frame. I didn't notify his family or try to comfort him. I quietly picked up the shards and chatted about trivial matters, believing that giving him a way out was more important than offering comfort. In that moment, it seemed as though he truly saw me. After that, Will's attitude softened. He started talking to me, listening to my trivial stories, and teasing me about my clothes. When I was sad, he handed me tissues and listened to me talk about my dreams. Our time together became more relaxed. Laughter filled the estate, and I developed a special affection for him. Sinister broke through the coldness, and warmth melted the ice. Two souls moved from testing each other to relying on one another, and I came to understand that beneath his hard shell lay a heart yearning for warmth. The longer we spent together, the more I sensed that Will was in terrible emotional pain. I truly wanted to help him rediscover hope in life. One day, I overheard his mother talking, and I completely broke down. After his car accident, he had decided to go to Switzerland for euthanasia in 6 months. He couldn't accept his paralyzed body and wanted to leave this world with dignity. I hid in a corner and cried, unable to understand his choice, but I didn't give up. I resolved to help him experience the beauty of life within those 6 months, so he would abandon the idea of euthanasia. So I created a bucket list. Some called me naive, but I just wanted to do everything in my power to keep him with me. I took Will on adventures. I took him to the racetrack, where I saw a relaxed smile spread across his face and a sparkle return to his eyes. I took him to a classical music concert. I wore the formal dress he'd picked out for me, and used my teeth to help him bite off the tag on his shirt. An awkward yet tender moment. Will changed me too. He teased me for never having watched a movie with subtitles, but made sure I finished it. He shook me out of my complacency and encouraged me to pursue my dreams. Under his influence, I began reading and learning, no longer feeling inferior, timid, or content with the status quo. On my birthday, Will gave me B-pattern tights, the style I'd mentioned, but never found in adult sizes. This gift was a testament to his understanding and support, proving our bond had grown stronger. Even if life is counting down, a faint light can still illuminate the path ahead. My bucket list carries my tender hopes. It is the mutual redemption between Will and me, teaching me to hold on to love, and that every moment is worth cherishing. As we spent more time together, My feelings for Will went beyond a mere employer-employee relationship, and our bond grew deeper. Despite the differences in our social status and physical appearance, I fell in love with him. This love overcame many obstacles and became the talk of the internet. Some envied our meetings, while others lamented our fate. At Will's ex-girlfriend's wedding, I pushed him onto the dance floor so he could feel like everyone else. From the look in his eyes, I knew he had fallen in love with me too. After the wedding, Will invited me on a vacation to Mauritius, a destination he had once loved. There, we strolled along the beach. And at night by the sea, he shared his past and his love, and I expressed my own feelings. We held each other close, and our pain and despair melted away in the warmth of our love. Those days were blissful and unforgettable. He smiled more often, and I became more confident and radiant. But I felt a lingering unease that this happiness might be fleeting. Love knows no bounds. This love, transcending social class and physical differences, warmed us both and made me believe that love can grant courage and the strength to move forward. After returning from Mauritius, I thought Will had given up on euthanasia, but to my surprise, his resolve remained unchanged. This became a hotly debated topic online. Some accused him of being selfish, while others understood his pursuit of the dignity of life. I went from anger and sadness to understanding and acceptance, realizing he made this choice out of love. I voiced my hopes and my reluctance, while he was filled with guilt and heartache. Out of love, he didn't want to be a burden to me, wishing for me to have a future of freedom. In that moment, I was overwhelmed with pain, so I chose to leave temporarily to escape. Locking myself in my room, refusing food and drink, weeping, and rejecting Patrick's comfort. After a few days of calm, I came to my senses, realizing his choice was one of brave selflessness. He didn't want to be a burden to me, nor did he want me to give up on my dreams. So I returned to his side, no longer trying to dissuade him, to walk with him through his final journey. We treated each other with greater tenderness, did many things together, and cherished every moment. His mother, Camilla, set aside her beliefs to respect her son. My heart aches for her love. We must respect others' choices, treasure the time we have together. For even if love leaves regrets, they remain precious memories. The day of Will's departure for Switzerland drew near, and a sense of sadness filled the air. I pushed him for one last stroll through the estate's gardens. His eyes were filled with reluctance and hope, hoping I would live bravely. On the day of his departure, I accompanied him to Switzerland, holding each other's hands tightly all the way. Upon arriving at the euthanasia facility, I stayed with him until the very end, watching him pass away peacefully. A few weeks later, I received a letter from him, filled with concerns, hopes, and funds to pursue my dreams. Now, wearing the striped tights that Will loved, I'm confidently and gracefully starting a new life in Paris, living up to his expectations. Farewell is another kind of beginning. Embarking on life with a loved one's hopes and affection is the best response to love and life.